कार्यशालायाः षष्ठे दिने द्वितीयसत्रमस्ति। अस्मिन् द्वितीयसत्रे स्टैण्डर्डैजेशन् आफ् रिसर्च् टूल्स् अण्ड् प्रोसेस् इत्यस्मिन् विषये अस्मान् उद्बोधयितुं पद्मावती महिला विश्वविद्यालयस्य दूरस्थशिक्षायाः पूर्वनिदेशिका अस्ति महोदया निर्मलज्योति महोदया सन्ति। तेषां विषये वदामि चेत् तत्र 40 वर्षाणि एतेषाम् अनुभवः अस्ति शिक्षणे। अनन्तरं बहवः लेखाः पब्लिकेशन्स् 43 पब्लिकेशन्स् लिखितानि सन्ति महोदया द्वारा। अनन्तरं प्रोग्राम्स् अपि 54 प्रोग्राम्स् आर्गनैज्ड् महोदया द्वारा। अनन्तरं पेपर् प्रेसेण्टेशन् पत्रसमर्पणमपि 60 पत्राणि समर्पितानि सन्ति महोदया द्वारा। ताः महाभागाः सन्ति ज्ञानिनः। नमस्कृत्य महोदयाम् अत्र वेदिकायाम् आह्वयामि अस्मान् उद्बोधयन्तु इति।
Thank you very much for speaking nice of me. And today's topic is very, very important because for a research scholar or for a research supervisor, the knowledge of preparing, how to prepare a research tool is more important. That knowledge makes us to be sound enough in making our research work as resourceful as possible and as strengthenable as possible. And you know, there are many standardized tools. And will you name some of the standardized tools that we come across in psychology? Standardized tools that we come across in psychology? Tests or tools? Well, tell me some names. Tools names I am asking. Names of the tools I am asking. Tests. No, I am not asking the types of tools that we use. Names of certain psychological tests that we use in any research or in any as per the purpose. You take for example intelligence test, Raven's progressive matrices, and like that Kettle's personality inventory. Like that there are many standardized tests. You know what is a difference between a standardized test or any teacher made test or any person made test? Before that, I would like to recapitulate the major steps of research, how to carry out an educational research. We have to identify a problem and then spell it out with clear-cut statements. That is called as, the first step is identification and statement of the problem. Identification means you have to pick up a pertinent problem or a pertinent question that needs to be answered through your research. And after identifying the problem, you need to state in precise, simple, clear-cut terms. What is the purpose of stating the research problem? That will give you how to name the project title or research title. Because if you state your problem in crystal clear, simple, precise, unambiguous terms, that will help you what are your objectives of the study. It will help you what is the frame of reference that the area is going to confine, and what is the sample and how to select the sample. All these things will be known to you when you state the problem with in crystal clear terms. For example, I tell you, I wanted to study the stress that the people, students of high school students undergo with respect to study of science or mathematics. Which one do you select? I found there are many failures in 10th class results, that many students failed in science or failed in mathematics or failed in English. That is one problem area. And you want to know what might be the reasons, and so that you want to rectify and provide suggestions either to the policy makers or to the teachers or to the parents and so on, or to all the stakeholders. That will be your purpose. And you need to confine your study depending upon the type of research work that you take up. If it is an MA dissertation, your scope of study will be limited. If it is an MPhil, it will be something larger. If it is PhD, it will be more larger. And larger in the sense, the scope, the circumference of the scope will widen. And if it is a project work, you are going to obtain funds from any funding agency, then your work will be so intensive and something deep. Like that, depending upon the level of research, you need to specify the title of the problem. Suppose if it is a PhD work, how do you want to select mathematical stress that exists among the high school students? Then if I state this problem, I am going to state like this: a study of mathematical stress of high school students. Is it comprehensive? Is it comprehensive? Is it okay? Tell me.
No, not okay.
Why?
Specific sample is not mentioned there.
Yeah, I am telling that it is a study of mathematical stress of high school students. High school students may be from 6th class to 10th class, and somewhere from 6th class to +2, secondary education. And are you going to incorporate all the classes?
No.
Then to which place? Whether it is in Andhra Pradesh or in Telangana or in Orissa or in some other place, you did not clarify. So you need to clarify, state the problem: a study of mathematical stress of 9th class students or 10th class students in so and so district. That will help you to confine your study and also to choose the sample, and how best you can choose the sample. All these things will be known to you. After stating the problem, you have to formulate your hypothesis. Formulation of hypothesis. That will be the next step. And after formulation of the hypothesis, you need to collect the data. For collection of data, you need a tool. You need a test. You need a test or a tool. And it is always better to use a standardized tool rather than a teacher-made test or a tool, or a person-made test or a tool. The difference is, a standardized tool is such type of tool which has undergone several processes, and it is not haphazardly done by your how do you give a semester class for internal assessment a test? How do you prepare for a question paper? How do you prepare a question paper for your internal assessment? According to the syllabus, you prepare keeping your objectives in mind. Do you think those objectives will be pertinent for some other people at some other place? No, it's not like that. It is confined with limited purpose to a limited sample and with a limited subject, with a limited to a limited subjects in the sense the sample, not the subject in that we study. Whereas a standardized test is somewhat universal test. It will be used by any person as per the prescriptions that have the rules and regulations stated in the test. You cannot administer that test or tool like you administer a tool or a test that you have prepared. It has standard conditions. How many should be at a time can be tested? What is the time limit? If the answer is like this, how to evaluate? Like all these things you need to specify. You take for example your Ravan's progressive matrices. Why I give this example? Because many of you know this Ravan's progressive matrices. See, for this particular, what should be the particular answer? How much, under what conditions it should be conducted, how the instruction should be, and how many students how many persons of the subject should be administered this test at a time, how much time need to be given, how to score the answers. All these things are given in the tool itself. Like that, a standardized test is a test that consists of carefully selected items, and it should cover all domains of behaviors. What is meant by domains of behavior? You take for example the mathematical stress. This is the concept that we are taking to find out how much stress, do they have stress at all, and what type of, under what areas. Stress means it is a bigger term. Mathematical stress may be because of several reasons. Those reasons you have to group them in different aspects or different domains of behaviors. You take for example that mathematical stress may be because of the textbook, the curriculum. In the curriculum may be not, or the textbooks may not be well written, or maybe because of teachers, or maybe because of the parents' pressure, or maybe because of the teaching learning processes, and maybe because of the administrative reasons, or maybe because of examinations. Like that, there are many domains of behaviors. You should be careful enough in identifying all the domains of behaviors that contribute for this particular topic under study. No domain of behavior should be left out. Okay? And another thing is, when you prepare a tool, keeping these things in mind, it should be given to a different, across the samples, different sets of samples. A sample, suppose you conduct the test for 10th class students, the same test can be given to 6th class or 8th class or in some other area or in some other district. Like that, across the sample you have to include number of samples before you make it as a standardized test. Another thing, the test is conducted under standard conditions. The conditions should be, the rules and regulations of test administration should be specified clearly, and then it should have established norms. What is a norm? What is a norm? A norm is nothing but an average. You take for example for English proficiency of B.Ed students of Sanskrit universities. You say, for example, this will be the general noun. General noun. Like the general noun, you take for example, X is the general noun of proficiency of English students, those who are studying in Sanskrit central universities. It is the average. You have to compare your students' performance with the national average. That is called as national norm. Like that, we have regional norms. We can have local norms, and we can have sex-wise different norms. For girls, how much? For boys, how much? For urban areas, how much? For rural areas, how much? Like that, there are different types of norms you need to establish. And if you go into Revan's standard progressive matrices for different countries, how the score will be rated, what is the percentile you see. For India, how much? For South Africa, how much? For America, USA, how much? Like that, country-wide they give. And similarly, for boys, how much? For different age groups also they give. Like that, we have to provide norms for a standardized test. And another thing, it should not be done by a single person. It cannot be done. You cannot do a standardized test by all alone. It should be a team effort, and that it should be highly valid, reliable, and discriminating. Discrimination means it should discriminate each item of the tool. Each item of the tool should differentiate the high-end group and the low-end group. In between there are middle group. The whole sample can be divided into 3 parts: high group, middle group, and low group. And each item should discriminate the high group from the low group. That is called as discrimination. Okay? And if all these criteria are filled, then it is called as a standardized test. Okay? Then how to prepare a standard test? A standard test. The tool that we prepare, we use for our PhDs are somewhat a standardized test. Though we do not follow in strict sense all the things, but we can make it as a standardized test as much as possible. And there are different steps in the preparation of a standardized tool. That is called as planning, preparing, trying out, then evaluating. In trying out, it is not active. In trying out, there are 3 steps. 1, the preparation, planning. The second step is preparation. Third step is trying out. Trying out. In this trying out, you can have preliminary trying out. Preliminary trying out. Preliminary tryout. Group tryout. Then final. This is also called as product tryout. Then final tryout. And the 4th step is evaluation. Evaluation. Now let us see planning. Planning. Please stop for some time. Planning. Stop. Switch off. Switch off. No, lighting. ఎక్కువసేపు ఉంచితే లైటు కరెంటు ఇదవుతుందండి. స్లైడ్ షో స్టాప్. నాట్ మినిమైజింగ్ సార్, యూ కెన్ స్టాప్. ఎందుకనంటే ఎక్కువసేపు పెట్టకూడదు సార్, అందుకోసం. ప్లానింగ్. See, you have selected your research topic and you know what are the tools, because in planning you must be well versed with your objectives of the study and the type of hypothesis you are going to make. Depending upon the objectives of the study, you have, is it, my voice is audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Depending upon the objectives of the study, you have to check whether I should use a questionnaire or a checklist or an interview schedule or an attitude scale or inventory or an achievement test or any psychological test that has been already standardized. Like that, you have to come out with your, first of all, in planning, you have to decide upon the type of tool that you are going to use. Okay? And then you have to plan, how can I develop this tool? For that purpose, you have to prepare yourself. That is called as preparation. In this preparation, you please listen to me, preparation stage. In this preparation, what you have to do is, I will come to that preparation next. Then another thing is trying out. After preparing the tool, you need to try out. This trying out is in 3 steps. One is preliminary tryout, and another is proper tryout, and this final tryout. This final tryout is called as pilot study. This final tryout is called as pilot study. Then you have to evaluate. After pilot study also you need to evaluate. These are the major steps in preparing. Now let us go for preparation part. Preparation. 6th slide. Preparation. Preparation. 6th one, 6th slide. Slide 6. Preparation, tool preparation. Okay. Tool preparation. Okay. See, you have already decided upon the tool that you need to use. For that, suppose you are going to measure the stress of, mathematical stress of 10th class students. Take for example. What type of tool is required for this? See, I am going to give you this assignment to you. Now you have to work in groups. This, what type of tool you need to give? What? See, mathematical stress you want to study. The mathematical stress that is existing among 10th class students. Which tool you are going to use? A questionnaire or an attitude scale or an interview schedule or a checklist or inventory. Which one do you use? Which one will be the best one? Huh? Inventory. What about you, ma'am? Inventory. They said inventory. What about you people? Is it okay? Is it okay? Give one statement in inventory. Sir, give one statement in inventory. Any statement. Any statement. Simple statement in an inventory. You take for example, I come to class late. I come to the class late. So in other words,
Irregular for the class.
I am irregular to the class. In an inventory, the choices should be, how the choices should be. Tell me the choices. Whether agree, it will not suit. Agree or disagree. That will suit to attitude. Always. I come late to the class always. I come late to the class. I never come late to the class. I seldom come late to the class. I frequently come late to the class. I rarely come late to the class. Like that the choices. The choices should also be perfect, should be apt. Like that. So here also you make the statements related to all domains of behaviors, keeping teachers in mind, keeping textbook in mind, keeping examination system in mind, teaching learning process in mind, administration, like that in each domain or each area or each aspect, you write number of statements, and against each statement there should be the alternatives. I undergo pressure. My parents pressurize me to obtain 100 marks in maths. Always, never, at times or rarely. Like that 5 choices you give. Like that you have to prepare the tool. See, like that you have to decide upon the tool, obtain comprehensive knowledge regarding the tool to be used, then have thorough understanding of the research topic under study. Without understanding the nature of the research study, you can't make out prepare the tool. Then next slide. Next, please. This is the first step. Then under that you actually resort to prepare the test items. What you do is with your experience, with your thinking, critical thinking, analytical thinking, reflective thinking, you reflect upon the topic. And with your observation, it can be your observation, it can be your thinking, or it can be your own experience. Like that, you prepare the list of items. You can write a list of items, no?
Yes.
What might be the reasons for mathematical stress? Like that, for the topic under study, with your knowledge, with your thinking, with your experience and with your observation, you prepare the list of items. Okay? Like that, first of all, you need to identify the domains of behaviors or aspects or areas. First of all, regarding this research topic, what will be the major areas that covers this aspect? Those areas first you need to identify. Then under each area, you write the statements. Under each area, you write the statements with your experience. Then, under each domain of behavior, write the sample items. That is called as sample items. And this is called as list 1. That you have prepared with. You have to thoroughly think and write all the possible items. That list you keep with you. Then next slide. Second step is, see, with whom you are going to collect the sample, to whom this test is going to be administered. To whom you are going to administer? I said 10th class students. They are the people who actually experience stress better than you. they are able to give you better responses. So, as per your sample, you approach the sample and explain the purpose of sample, motivate them and ask them, you supply some sheets and ask them to write what causes you to undergo mathematical stress. You give some clue. It can be from your teacher or from your school or from your headmaster or from your parents. Like that you give the clue and ask them, don't think otherwise. You give clear instructions to the sample when they are giving you some answers, because they may be afraid. So you give an assurance that this will be used only for research purpose, not for other purposes, and all the responses that you give will be kept under confidence. Like that, you obtain the list from the sample from whom you are going to conduct the research. Then, say you are collecting from many students from different places, and some students, those items may be repeatedly coming. Okay? Suppose I ask these people to write individually. The items that you write may be written by some other people, and some other people may write new, and whatever the items are repeated, make a single list from all the things by studying. Make a single list. This list is called as list 2. The first one you prepared is called as list 1, and from the sample you have collected is called as list 2. Now you compare list 1 with list 2. Then make a single list. You can make a single list. Is it not possible? You can sieve. You can make only single list without repetition. Then again you go through whether there are anything left over. Like that you prepare the third list by comparing list 1 with list 2. Then you go to the library. You go to the library, review and see what are the other, whether other researchers would have prepared the tool like this. You survey, you study, and whatever things are left or whatever review says through your review, if anything that is left over, you incorporate those things to the existing list 3. Like this, you obtain a big list that is called as large pool of items that Gutman, a researcher known as Gutman, he calls it as a large pool of items. Large pool of items. And like that, you obtain a large list of items. Okay? Please, next. All these things, I compare list 1 with list 2, like that all these things over. Okay? And this is the, now you have a large list of items. Then you write the directions, note how to answer, and what are the preliminary form, that is called as the preliminary rudimentary form of your research tool. Preliminary form of the research tool. You have to give directions also, how to answer, and what are the informations that you require. What are the informations that you require? That is regarding your independent variables like sex of the students, age of the students, or the class, or the area, school, and the medium of study. Like that, there it may be they are private managed school, or a residential school, or a Jilla Parishad school, or a government school. Like that, you, depending upon your variables, you prepare the front form of the tool, and then followed by directions, and then give the preliminary, that is the preparation part, and you have prepared the tool. After that, what you have to do is, that is to check with preliminary tryout. What is that preliminary tryout? Say, you have to select some panel of judges. A panel of judges. Who are the panel of judges? Panel of judges. Who can be the panel of judges? See, whatever comes to your mind, nothing nonsense cheppina parvaledu. You can give nonsense also. I try to get the sense from that.
The one who have 30 years of experience in that.
Not 30 years. Who have experience, some experience, or well-versed knowledge in the field of research, that topic. If you give me a research tool related to computer science, I am unable to do. Like that, whoever has for English education, Mr. Chandrasekhar sir will be the best person. Or for psychology, those who are experts in psychology and with the research background. You select a panel of judges. You ask them, you approach them with a request. Sir, this is the purpose of my study. I have developed this tool, and you please go through that tool and let me know if something is missed out, or something is missing, or something need to be added, or some domain is missing, some aspects are missing, or some statements are missing, or whether the statements that I made are really projecting what I mean to say. Like that, you ask them for incorporation or deletion or modification, and even for language correction. That is called as, after preparing that preliminary draft of the tool, it should be subjected to a panel of judges for expert criticism, for addition, deletion, modification, and for language correction. Okay? And after giving to the panel of judges, then it need to be taken for proper tryout. This proper tryout is called as group tryout. That is that you have to select a sample of subjects, minimum 40, depending on, don't say that madam said 40 and for a research topic I select only for 40. For MD student it is 40, it is okay, but not for others. And you have to administer that test and then obtain the responses, and then how to evaluate that I will tell you in next class. Then after trying out, then for proper tryout, then go for final tryout. This final tryout is called as pilot study, and you have to go for pilot study before going for final study. And then after final tryout, in final tryout, what you are going to do, you are going to establish item validity, item reliability, validity of the whole tool, and reliability of the whole tool. These things I take in next coming 2 classes. Then after establishing validity, item reliability and validity, for each item you are going to establish validity and reliability. For whole test again you have to establish validity and reliability. Do you understand? Item validity is different from tool validity. Tool validity means considering all the items of the tool. And item reliability is different from tool reliability. Okay? and all these things you are going to do. After doing all these things, what you do, those items which do not have item validity or item reliability, you are discarding. Those items that do not have item validity or item reliability, you are going to discard. And if the item validity comes to 0, means it needs some modification in the statement. You need to modify it. Okay? Like that, you evaluate and prepare the final form of the tool. These are the steps in preparing a standardized tool, a tool that we use in research, whether it is a PhD research or a project work. That speaks the strength of the research. Okay? Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So, I give you a small test. How you prepare list 1. List 1. You divide in groups and let us know how to. The topic is mathematical stress of 10th class students. Is it okay, or do you want some other topic? Huh? Tell me the topic. Or each group will have its own topic.
Even our students have mathematical stress.
Yeah, that is there, no?
You have phobia.
Yes.
Yes, take it.
Huh? Okay? Okay, ma? No response.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, be louder.
Mathematical.
Okay? So, you divide in groups. Sir, కొంచెం రీఆర్గనైజ్ చేసుకోమనండి. So, others will be there, but when you think in a different way, it leads to some problem in your emotion. And therefore, the right way of using to study that problem is emotional problems. Emotional problems. And so when you state the problem, you should be very cautious enough in selecting the words also, choosing the appropriate words. And in another group, I observed that phobia of students in learning English grammar. Phobia is a psychological term which reflects the mental disorders. Mild mental disorder of people are called as phobias, irrational fears. But it is not, we are not going to study the mental disorder of the students, but we are going to study we want to know the problems in learning English grammar. Problems you want to know. And there you may have some irrational fears. Okay? So you have to state the problem in clear-cut terms so that how to prepare the tool, what type of tool can be used, like that it will come. And similarly, with this group also I found as a topic that impact of meditation on mental health and some more.
Top for 10th class.
No, mental health and some other area used. Some other. No, mental health. What is your.
Only mental health.
No, before that,
Physical also.
Not physical, ma'am. No, what is your topic first you wrote some topic, 2 things you wrote.
Yes, ma'am. Mental health and mental health.
Mental health only. She wrote 2 things, then I changed it to mental health only. Like that, be specific when you state the problem. Research topic. The topic is very important. Okay? Sir, please, I invite the first group to come and present. One of you come. and you express your problems, and then because I can understand you can't prepare a tool, just a sample item or items that you have prepared that you will read out. And the mathematics test people only have to first present. Mathematical stress, 3 groups they are doing, no? They will present. From those 3 lists, we can make 1 list. Okay? For that experience, I have given the same problem.
Good afternoon, brothers and sisters. Actually, making a tool within few minutes is not that easy, but we just try something. The topic is mathematical stress among 8th standard Oriental school students. Okay, we made an inventory scale tool. And first we made some components. What are the reasons can be? The components.
You call them as domains of
Domains of
or areas or aspects.
Okay. The areas or aspects of these mathematical stress in the 8th standard students of Oriental schools may be lack of basic knowledge, teacher fear, punishment, lack of communication, not using different teaching methods, lack of practice, lack of teaching materials in the school, family background, a lack of interest in the subject, a lack of motivation, and a fluctuation of teachers in the school, a lack of child-centered teaching methods, a lack of peer group coordination. We just think these as criteria. And in team, we made by the team only. And some statements we created here. As with the ma'am's help, we made some 2 statements here, like as I am irregular for maths class, I undergo stress in mathematics. This is the first statement. Learning mathematics. So here we can say always, never, sometimes. 3-point scale we can give.
3 points means always, never,
sometimes. Okay.
3 points scale.
Okay. The second is
If it is a 5-point scale, what are the alternatives? If it is a 5-point scale, always and never, in between 3 more.
Sometimes will come.
Always.
Always after that. Sometimes, okay, after that.
Never.
Never at the end. Always and never at the starting and ending.
Okay.
In between, I was thinking that something I think. Sometimes I
Frequently.
frequently.
Rarely.
Okay, then frequently, rarely, always,
Always, frequently,
sometimes,
rarely,
rarely.
and never. Like that, you have to choose the alternates also.
Okay. My father is poor in mathematics, so I also consider myself as poor in mathematics. So these are. So he feels that, the child feels that my father never taught me mathematics, so he is poor in mathematics. I am also.
That is another thought. That is another.
Okay.
So, see, 2 more has come. One, my father didn't help me in doing homework and maths. Therefore, I undergo stress. And what you said? My father did not encourage me when I get higher marks. I feel stressed.
Okay.
Like that.
Okay, we made some. We'll just check out it. As my teacher punished me, I fear to give answers. So I have stress in math. Is it okay, ma'am? As my teacher punished me, I fear to give answers. So I have stress in math. I never give much time in classroom to think and answer. So I fear to answer in math. So everybody, as a slow student, they never give time to me.
See, you have made some statements that can be refined.
Okay.
If you think and reflect upon it, you refine the statement and specify in simple
No, I was
terms.
thinking in my what was happening in my
See,
life. I
with this
just made it.
experience, see, he wrote some sentences. If some more time is given, he will change the sentences that he has already written in some other mode to be more specific and with more clarity. Okay?
You have taken so many domains. From each domain, if you take 2 or 3 statements, it will be up to 30-40 items in the question.
Yeah. Okay?
And you have to cover all the domains. That is most important.
Time limits.
Yes. So now you are in planning stage.
So I want to give you the taste of preparing a tool so that you don't have fear in preparing any tool for that matter. A simple way is to prepare a tool is like this. Okay? Thank you very much. For that purpose, we have to have reflective thinking.
These are in areas, domains. Gautam, Manase, what are the areas for mathematics? Anantram, Prashant.
Actually, we have taken the topic a study of mathematical stress of Shastri students of NSU, Tirupati, Sanskrit University. So we have divided into 4 parts. Actually, as a learning will be impacted by or affected by 4 factors. Most what we have taught from family side, teacher side, from peer group learning, and management side. So our friends, please come here. Curriculum also.
Teaching learning process.
Both will come here because they have contributed. Please come and present. Come faster.
Okay.
And here we have taken 3 rating scale.
Because the
Strongly
video is
agree.
going on, so that is the recording. Recording is must in research.
Strongly agree, disagree. So here are our friends to present their statements.
Related to administration, my school not develop an infrastructure for suitable teaching learning process. My school not provide a mathematics lab and instrument for the students. My school not provide a playground for the students' health development. My school not provide a sufficient fund for buying the library books.
Okay. What is the relation between playground and learning mathematical stress?
Mental.
Here, there are 2 issues, 2 statements which are not directly related to stress. See, what is that first one? First one, study. Library books. No, but library books means books, mathematics, reference books, and having books one part, and library period is not allowed by.
What practice?
Not practiced. That you have to write.
Right.
Then be specific. And one more thing, playground. What is the playground?
PT periods may be
That is not playground. So one thing. Let me complete. See, my school management allots many periods for mathematics. I undergo stress in learning maths. And then the PT periods are all the PT periods in the timetable are allotted for mathematics. Like that you have to mention. Oh, okay, not directly. You have to see how it impacts. Another, the management part you wrote something. This infrastructure. What is that infrastructure?
Classroom area is very classroom.
Yeah, you be specific. Infrastructure means you have to be specific.
What sort of infrastructure?
The class in the large classrooms, in the crowded classrooms, I am unable to understand mathematics. Hello.
Silence, please.
Hello.
All of you listen.
See, infrastructure. He said infrastructure. How that infrastructure affects that you have to think. Say crowded classrooms. Infrastructure is required or not. The classroom should be more amicable. Sufficient enough for seating. So the crowded classrooms affects me in learning classrooms. The noise in the crowded classrooms makes me not understanding maths, that causes me to undergo stress. Another thing, there is no ventilation and therefore I am unable to see the blackboard work of my teacher. I don't understand maths then. And there is suffocation in the classroom. Like that you have to write. Okay, thank you very much. Okay.
Can we say health issues? I have some health issues, so I cannot understand.
Whatever makes the students to undergo stress, that you have to write.
Family background, my subject. My parents are not educated first, and my elder brothers, sisters, and parents are not teach me properly. My family environment not good, and my family always facing financial problem, and my family members and relatives are not idea in the mathematics.
Very nice. You have identified the home-related problems very nicely, but I am stating it as a stress-causing factor. You did not specify it as a statement. See, you take for example, my family environment is not good. It is a vague statement. It is a general statement. My family environment in the sense, what is that? No. My parents always quarrel with each other. Therefore, I don't find time to spend learning mathematics. That causes me to undergo stress in learning maths. Or another thing, the frequent visits of relatives to the class, to home, makes me to in learning maths. That makes me to undergo stress. Like that, you have to specify each and every cause for that. Okay? Thank you very much.
Ma'am, if we like say like this, number of reasons we can write. Hundreds of reasons.
Number of reasons are there.
How it can be from if I take my company,
Yes,
I can give you 100 reasons.
you may list not only 100, 200 reasons will also come. Let it come.
Then only you can solve the problem.
Let it come.
You are making a research.
So it becomes universal.
Yeah. That's why I said large pool of items. I said no. Controversy.
From my life, if I take, I have here mathematics, I can give you 100 reasons.
Not only 100.
As a researcher, you are collecting information from several students.
See,
Keeping them in your mind, you are prepared.
listen to me. The number of items is not the question. There is no limit. You have to think, keeping in mind the various aspects and as many number of items as possible without leaving a single component. You have to. That's why you are doing by yourself, thinking in different ways, and then you are asking the people to contribute, and from different people what the responses that you are making a single list, and that list is compared with your list. Then again you are giving it, you are supplementing with your review of related literature, third list. Then again you are approaching a panel of judges to contribute, that is the fourth list. Like that you may get a number of items. All the number of items that is called as the basic part of preparing a research tool. Then how many will stand in the tool? That will come after item analysis that I take on 7th, and also establishing reliability and validity of the tool. In item analysis we establish item validity and item reliability, and you may write even nonsense things, and all those things may be deleted also.
In trial.
In tryout, in item
I don't
analysis.
have interest in math. That is also a reason.
That also comes as one of the reasons.
But what is the reason?
I don't like it.
What is
Yeah.
I don't like math. No other reason.
reason?
I like other
See, for not liking also you should
I
have a
like
reason.
English. Okay, I can say that. I like language.
See, if you do not like a particular person or a particular thing, there will be some reason. For likes and dislikes also there are.
No, I
Your
like language.
attitude will come into mind.
I come across such students, they say that I don't like maths, sir.
I don't like maths, they have a reason. They have a reason. You need to prove.
They say that I like language.
As a researcher, don't depend upon the superficial answers they give. You have to probe into their mind and extract what was the actual reason. Okay?
Ma'am, here a small query is saying, which is already brother explained about 3-point rating scale and 5-point rating scale. Is there any rule for take the 3-point and you have to take the 5-point rating scale?
There is no rule. It is all depending upon the nature of the topic, the nature of the topic under study, and the sample, the nature of the sample that you are approaching. And how, if it is, suppose if you are going to collect information from 6th class students, they may not understand always, frequently, seldom, that difference they may not understand. So you keep in mind the sample from whom, the nature of the sample, and also the nature of the topic and the purpose for which you are going to collect for. So depending upon that, you have to decide upon whether it is if you want micro difference, minute difference, you can go for 5-point or 7-point or 9-point or 11-point, like that, depending upon your interest, your level of research, your nature of sample. All these things you have to keep in mind. Okay?
Here, I would like to express a teacher. Here, first point is, my teacher punished me seriously and throw the dusters and chalk pieces on me. Due to...
Give severe punishment.
Yeah, yes. No, I didn't get it.
No, you will write like this. When I commit any mistake in the class, the teacher punishes me severely. That is the reason why I
Getting
get
stress.
You can put it this way. I feel stressed in maths class because my teacher punishes me if I do wrong.
Okay.
Severely punishes me. I may be retreated before my peer group if I do. I undergo stress. That word should come always. I feel stressed when my teacher punishes me
before the
before my peer group, before my friends, like that.
And the teacher does not explain through methods.
Teaching
Learning methods. That's why I shouldn't get the proper knowledge in the maths.
So that generally is if you are given more opportunity, more time and to understand, you may refine it. I am just adding that something. For teaching, my teacher does not teach me with clear-cut communication. Sometimes the language also affects. Or the method, the teacher's teaching method is not able to make me to understand it.
Me in a simple method.
Or anything like that, you have to think and write in the simple form. See, when you write a statement, that will not be taken into account. You reflect upon it and how best I can make it in a precise way and what else may be coming in that. Like that you have to think and refine it.
And teacher voraciously scolding in the classroom.
Voracious means voracious reader comes, but voracious is not the apt word to use.
Okay.
See, when you use the language also, whether that word suits or not, that also should be taken into account.
And teacher voice very low. There is no personal attention on us.
Voice is different, personal attention is different. Two things cannot
Don't
be
join
done.
two. The teacher's voice is not audible in the class, so I am not able to receive the.
I feel stressed because my teacher's voice is not audible to me in understanding maths. Like that you have to be. Okay.
Teacher does not give positive feedback in the classroom. That's why I'm getting
Feedback will be given by the students, not by the teachers.
Sometimes feedback also given by the teacher.
So, बहुत तो ये कहा, 1 minute समय यहाँ पे जाता है पुनः वो तपाद एक बार कितना कितना करोति पापा बालिका से एक सिद्धा समय यहाँ जा అర్థమవుతుంది Can you understand? Okay.
Mathematical stress of secondary school students of Andhra Pradesh. అయితే సమస్య तत्र 5 point scale निर्मितमस्ति. पूर्णसहमतिः, सहमतिः, तटस्थः, असहमतिः, पूर्ण असहमतिः. तत्र एरिया एवं सन्ति. ओन् प्रोग्राम्स्, करिक्युलम्, अट्मास्फियर्. आम्. तत्र पाठ्यक्रमः अधिकः वर्तते. कक्षा समयः उचितः नास्ति. यतोहि मध्याह्नसमये भवति चेत् अवगन्तुं कष्टं भवति. कक्षा
मध्याह्ने भवति इति कारणात् वयं सर्वे श्रोतुं न प्रभवामः. तदर्थं धन्यता जायते.
गणितीयसामग्र्याः अभावः अस्ति. शिक्षकाणाम् अध्यापनशैलीं न इच्छामि. कक्षायाः बहिः सर्वदा कोलाहलः भवति.
तेन किं भवति? धन्यता जायते. प्रणेतायाः इमानि कारणानि.
सूत्राणि स्मर्तुं कष्टम् अनुभवामि. गणितीयसूत्राणि स्मर्तुं. परिवारे गणितं बोधयितुं कोऽपि नास्ति. शारीरिककालांशे अपि गणितकक्षा स्वीक्रियते. कक्षायां गणितीयसंवादः न भवति. पाठितविषयान् पुनः अवलोकयितुं न इच्छामि. छात्राणां प्रति शिक्षकाणां व्यवहारः कठिनः वर्तते.
इमानि कारणानि ये अंशाः भवता लिखिताः ते विषयविशेषज्ञानां प्रेषणीयं भाषादृष्ट्या विषयदृष्ट्या समीचीनाः इति तदनन्तरं ड्रैव् करणीयम्. एकः समूहः भवता चेतव्यः. एवं प्रकारेण लास्ट् फैनल् बालिका से समयः नास्ति. पुनः सार्धद्विवादने आगन्तव्यम्.
We have taken the problem is effective of meditation on mental health of 10th class students.
Effect of.
The areas and domains of problems are personal perspective, social perspective, behavioral perspective, and interrelationship. So, interpersonal relationship, ma'am. We prepared the questionnaire in 5-point rating scale as you told.
See, questionnaire is nothing but a tool that consists of several questions.
Yes, ma'am.
There should be only answers.
Yes, yes.
But attitude is different from questionnaire. Attitude scale is different from questionnaire. So whether you are going to use what I said, you use a checklist. I said. For you, it is better to use a checklist.
We selected for 4 perspectives, other questionnaires.
Don't say perspectives. Areas or aspects.
Domains. Thank you. Questions are there.
Dimensions also.
Statements. I practice meditation to reduce my stress. Always, frequently, rarely, sometimes, and never.
No, see, it is on mental health. No? Effect of mental health, effect of meditation on mental health. You said health aspects. Under health aspects, doing meditation, how it affects. You have to write it.
Yes, statement.
Health, several things you have to identify. Not like this. No?
Yes, yes. I improved my creative thinking. I improved my creative thinking from meditation. To meditation. Through.
I improve. Meditation helped me to think differently.
Okay.
Think differently. Yes or no? Some people say yes or some people say no. Okay? I said checklist. It is not an attitude scale. Okay?
I got peacefulness to practice meditation.
Meditation helped me to be peaceful. Like that, simplify. Yes, simplify. Okay?
And last one, meditation helped in the academic performance.
Due to meditation, I could concentrate on academics.
Performance.
Like that, you have to write. Thank you very much.
So, aham nama questionnaire katham prepare karaniyam, how to create checklist. Language and the way to we prepare the question is very, very important. I prepared just first time and it is nice.
अंश विश्लेषणार्थं विषय विशेषज्ञानां सहायतापि अस्माभिः अपेक्षते एक्स्पर्ट् ओपिनियन्
नाम इदानीं वयम् एकं स्टेट्मेंट दद्मः चेत् सर्वैः अपि समानतया अवगमनार्थं that is very important.
यदुद्दिष्टं तदागच्छति
सत्यं सत्यं.
Whatever you aim through this too should be received. So if you write some in keeping some idea in your mind and if the subject thinks otherwise, you will not receive what you expected.
Yes.
That is most important.
Yes, thank you, ma'am.
In few minutes, only 7 questions related to the problem is emotional problem of class 10 students. We make only 2 options, yes or no. First question is your family members' relations is too good? Second one, is your economic background is satisfactory? Third one is your surrounding environment is satisfactory with you?
See, you have said only the area you said, how it reflects the emotional problem that you did not specify. See, financial, economic conditions, then family conditions. How family conditions help your emotional problem, that you have to reflect. How your economic conditions reflects in emotional problems, that you have to specify. Don't say financial problem, financial. how that financial, economic conditions, don't say financial conditions, economic conditions, how it reflects in your emotions, in what areas, in what aspects, or what
Fourth one is your relationship with teacher is good? Is your teacher help and support?
all those things, don't say is like that.
Yeah.
You have to make a statement. You take, for example, my parents do not pay fees in time to school. I feel stressed or I feel embarrassed in the classroom or in front of my teachers, or if my father do not pay fee in time, my name is reflected in notice board. Like that, how our economic conditions reflects in the behaviors, those behaviors you have to write.
Last one. Is you suffering from any hereditary problem?
You can directly ask them in the form of statement, not in the form. Yes, no, asking teacher, kaha samasya, bhavan avgantu.
My topic is confined to 4 sessions, therefore, school choose chess over selection of
Good afternoon to one and all. Actually, my topic is 12th class student feeling stress in speaking English. Means up to 10th class, he is from Telugu medium. After that, he went to English medium. Okay. For that, there are some. I have written some domains. Means lack of knowledge, fear, new environment, less use of English, pronunciation, teacher. Means change of teachers. Always the teachers will change like that. And lack of interest, lack of facilities, or lack of basic knowledge. Here I have prepared some checklist, 3-point scale, strongly agree and disagree.
That cannot be called as checklist.
Oh, okay. So, okay, ma'am. Can you please? Okay. Okay, ma'am. I'll just note this, ma'am. And here, new environment. New environment means the person. New environment means the boy or the girl from new environment means will you agree or not? So there are 3-point scale, we can agree. And less use of English means from his childhood or her childhood he don't use English at all. It means less use of English means for that exam purpose only he will learn. After that he will leave. He don't have any interaction with his friends and all. So that is called less use. So that is also we can agree. And fear. Fear means with speaking to others, if he will get grammatical mistakes, then also he will be problem. That is also we can agree. Like the no use of blackboard. This is the main thing, because if the teacher is writing on the blackboard while teaching grammar and all, at the time what should he say?
Ma, you are not supposed to explain. You have to read your statement again. They know what is the problem.
And grammatical mistakes. One more time. Irregularity. Irregularity. So that is also a common mistake.
Don't say irregularity. Irregularity is what? Irregularity of what? Irregularity of whom?
Just because of class, English class. Yes, ma'am.
You have to take each one and put statement. It should be the form of statement. I am irregular in speaking English in classroom. therefore I feel difficulty. My teacher uses translation method, therefore I am unable to use English. Like that you have to mention. A research tool, and you have the confidence in preparing any tool for that matter. The only thing is you have to decide upon the nature of your topic first, specify it in precise term, and select your tool, appropriate tool. Then first you write your own statements, thinking all other dimensions, and then refine your language first. You yourself can refine as much as possible. Then go to the sample from whom you are going to select for your research study. Obtain the list, compare those two lists, then add to the list from the review, then give it to the panel of experts. Again you refine, you think, reflect on your own tool, then again you change. That is called as the preliminary draft of the tool, and that tool you need to use it for tryout. First preliminary tryout, proper tryout, then final tryout. Preliminary tryout is for, again you have to give it to your own research scholars or your own students and ask them whether they are going to be taken in the sense that you mean to express. They may be understanding in different way. What you mean to say is to be understood by the other person also. So take their opinion and change. That is called as preliminary tryout. Then give it to a small sample and try it. You use it, and then there you have to establish validity and reliability, and then you have to go for pilot study. And on pilot study you are going to finalize the tool, and your large pool of items will be reduced to something different. Okay? Thank you very much. You are given a test of preparing, and the time is not sufficient, and you have your own doubts. Therefore, this is only
नमः सभाभ्यः सभापतिभ्यश्च अद्य कार्यशालायाः षष्ठमदिनम् अस्याः कार्यशालायाः षष्ठमदिने द्वितीयसत्रे अस्मिन् सत्रे अस्मान् स्टैंडर्डाइजेशन ऑफ टूल्स एंड टेस्ट प्रश्नोत्तरनिर्माणं मानकीकरणम् इति विषयं स्वीकृत्य सरल सहजरीत्या प्रयोगात्मकरीत्या च सम्यक्तया बोधितवती प्रोफेसर एम निर्मला ज्योति महोदयाभ्यः भूयांसि धन्यवाद वचांसि वितनोमि। कार्यशालायाः पक्षतः विश्वविद्यालय पक्षतः महोदया भवद्भ्यः धन्यवादाः। अस्याः कार्यशालायाः निदेशकेभ्यः समन्वयकेभ्यः एवं च संयोजकेभ्यः सर्वेभ्यः समेभ्यः धन्यवादाः वितीर्य विरमामि विस्तरा। धन्यवादाः।
सर्वेपि भोजनार्थं गच्छामः। ततः पूर्वं अनुसन्धान